What's going on, folks? My name is Spice, this is Spice Can't Fish, and in today's video I've got another challenge style video for you guys. Now, I don't really do a whole ton of challenge style videos on this channel, it's just not the way I like to fish. Usually I just like to go out and enjoy myself, have a fun time getting out there and just trying to catch some fish. Whether I'm exploring a new body of water or revisiting an old one, I just feel like I have the most amount of fun when I don't give myself any restrictions or any rules or guidelines that I have to follow. But every once in a while it is a good thing to give yourself a couple of rules, couple of guidelines, couple of restrictions, really challenge yourself and test yourself. And so I figure I may as well try and start doing a few challenge videos here and there before the end of the year. I got like 5 or 6 of them lined up, so we're gonna see how many of them we can get into before the end of the year. But to kick things off, we're gonna get started with this one. So a little bit of backstory, a few weeks ago, or actually a couple of months ago at this point, I was at a local tackle shop. I went in there with the intention of filming a little unboxing video for you guys, but I ended up not actually picking up all that much stuff. We'll probably be heading back there at some point in the winter time to pick up some more baits, but I just stuck my head in there to see if they had anything really cool. And one thing in particular was hanging on a shelf that really caught my eye, that being this little guy right here. So this is a little rat style topwater wake bait. I've actually caught a bunch of fish on some little rat style baits in the past, but I haven't thrown one in a good long time, so when I saw this one hanging up on the shelf, I figured I may as well snag it. Most of the rat style baits that I'm used to throwing are bigger swim bait style stuff, so they're like 1.5 ounces all the way up to 3.5 or 4 ounces. But this little guy might be like 3/4 of an ounce, if that. It's a pretty light little bait, so I'm definitely gonna be able to throw this on some conventional stuff. And yeah, it's got a super lifelike little paint job on there, just a gray back with a white belly, super nice and natural. And then with those little patches of color, the little pink around the ears and the nose, as well as the pink tail, this thing's a pretty killer little bait. But yeah, picked that little rat up and I figured it would be a perfect first little challenge style video. And the reason I put challenge in quotations is because I honestly don't think it's gonna be that hard to catch fish on this thing. It's really more just to test this little thing out and see what we can do with it. But yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get on down to the pond, get straight into the action, and we're gonna put the rat to the test, see what we can do with it in the last couple hours of daylight today. But yeah, without further ado, I'll meet you guys down at the pond. Alrighty folks, we are out here on the old kayak, getting ready to try out this little rat wake bait that I picked up recently. Now, full disclosure, I have fished this bait a little bit. I actually came out to the same body of water last weekend. Tried to throw this thing around and film a video. Of course, the GoPro was just not working on me. The SD card was not registering for whatever reason. I didn't have a spare one with me. So I ended up not being able to film that day, but I did catch a couple of fish out here on this little rat bait, so I know it'll work. And it seems like today's gonna be some pretty good conditions for a topwater bite as well. So I am looking forward to that. Got ourselves a nice little southern wind. It's warm but not hot out. And I think these fish should be chewing here, hopefully. But yeah, we're just gonna throw this thing around for the rest of the evening. See if we can get on a couple of fish with it. I'd like to catch at least I don't know, 4 or 5 fish on this thing. Really give it a shot. See what we can do with it. First official cast on camera with the rat bait. Let's see what we're working with here. But yeah, fishing a body of water like this seems like the perfect spot to be throwing around a little rat or a topwater mouse style bait. I would imagine there's probably quite a few rats and stuff around here. I've seen them at my apartment and I'm like 5 minutes away from here, so I can't imagine that there's not rats around here, especially with the restaurants and stuff that are kind of surrounding this pond. But yeah, I think we'll just do a quick lap of this pond, maybe second lap if we have the time for it, and see if we can't get lucky with a couple of topwater bites. Topwater has been kind of slow for me this year. I've only had a couple of really good days on it, so hopefully we'll be able to change that today. I'd like to, again, like I said, catch a few topwater fish this evening, really see what this bait's capable of. But I was already out here for a couple hours trying to film another challenge video, and that one did not go very well, so we're not gonna have too high of hopes just yet. See if we can get bit first. Oh my god, okay. Well, that didn't take very long at all. Okay, well, that's for sure the biggest fish that I've caught while I've been out here this evening. Took like 4 casts with the old rat bait, and that's all she wrote, baby. All right, nice. Absolute tub of a little fish right there, but I will take that for the first one of the day. That didn't take long at all. Hell yeah. Look at the friggin' gut on that guy. That is a nice one. He's got like a spider on him too or something. Very strange, but first fish didn't take very long at all. See you, buddy. Thank you. Well, okay. I guess the rat bait's gonna work tonight. I can get behind a couple of topwater fish. That was friggin' fun. Let's do that again like 12 more times. It's crazy. I was out here fishing a drop shot and I couldn't get touched pretty much. Just me and a bunch of bluegill having a grand old time. Picked up a wakebait, threw it for what, 5 casts? Already got clocked. I like that a lot. Let's see if there's some more up over here somewhere. This thing's got great action, I'll tell you what. For essentially just a little blank that I'm sure someone bought off of a website for $2 and painted it up with like the cheapest paint that they had. This thing looks pretty good, I'll tell you what. That tail on this thing kind of whips around as it swims through the water. Got a decent amount of wiggle to it as well. It's not too overpowering, but it does definitely have a good amount of wiggle. I like this thing. I like this little mouse wake. Oh, and you can walk the thing pretty good too. Okay. These little mouse baits are surprising me already, I'll tell you what. Again, I have thrown this thing around a little bit, but I didn't really get a good chance to look at the action before, so it's nice to really see how this thing works in the water. I'm glad that it actually swims pretty well. I was a little bit worried, since again, this is probably just a blank that someone bought and painted up. It's not any like actual bait company that I can tell. Sometimes some of these blanks are pretty crappy, but this one seems like it's alright. Got his ass. That was really cool. Oh man, that was awesome. He's just got the back hook. Oh my god. Get up in here, buddy. Hell yeah. So this little fish wake off the bank at this thing, and then I watched him come up and just kind of grab it real light in his mouth. Just got the back treble hook on this guy, but definitely wanted it. That was pretty cool. Alright, these little hooks on this thing are pretty dang sharp. Nice. Another little guy on the old rat. All right, I'm gonna put you down. Don't worry, buddy. Appreciate you. Later. Man, that was really sick. That fish came up and just kind of pecked that little thing. Didn't hit it super hard, but I watched him come up and eat it, which was super cool. All right, get back in it. Ow, Jesus Christ, I think I just popped a blister on my hand too. That didn't feel great. I do have a fish on. Turning myself around and I got popped right there. Not a very big one, but fish numero tres of the day. Huh. Nice, another little fat guy. Whoa, he's super dark. This guy's way more colored out than the other fish we were catching today. Hell yeah. See ya, buddy. Appreciate the bite. I literally just made a cast and then went to go turn around. And as I did, I thought I saw my bait get popped. It was, again, a very subtle bite. But that's another fish on the board for this little mouse wake bait. Alright, that was my 5th fish on this thing. 3rd one on camera for you guys. Looking like it's starting to get a little roughed up there by the cheek, but overall, paint seems like it's holding up pretty good. Action still seems pretty good. I don't think I've seen a decrease in the action yet, which is good. The only thing I don't like about this is that we've been slowly downsizing with the size of fish we've been getting. So hopefully we can catch ourselves another chub and maybe get ourselves one with a little bit better quality before we gotta get out of here. My God, no way. There's literally a rat on the bank over there, just walking around. I don't know if you guys can see him. Hang on, he might stick his head out here. Right out in front of us. He's just walking along the bank over there. That's gross. Okay, well, now we know for sure there's rats in here. Heck yeah. Match the hatch, baby. Alrighty, so as I struggle to get this bait out of the tree here, I'm going to go over some of the pros and cons of this little thing. One of the main pros that I like is that you can both walk and just straight retrieve the bait. I do really like a wake bait that can walk. Really any bait that you can do more than one thing with, I really like. Again, I fish off a kayak a lot, and so while I am able to bring a decent amount of stuff with me, sometimes I do find myself a little bit limited, especially when I'm fishing like a challenge video like we are today, or something along those lines. So to have a bait that you can impart multiple different kinds of action to is a really sweet thing in my opinion. And so being able to use a bait in a couple of different ways is super important for me. It's one of the main reasons why I absolutely love the DRT Tiny Clash and the Clash 9. That bait was kind of designed to be able to be used in all different situations. You can wake the thing, you can crank it down to like 20 foot, you can glide it, you can work it like a jerk bait. There's so many different ways to work that bait, and this bait is also very similar. Again, it is a top water, so it's not like it's gonna dive at all. So you can't really like work it like a jerk bait unless you added a bunch of weight to it. But in terms of top water, I'm able to both wake this thing, which is kind of its intended purpose, as well as fish it just kind of like a spook. Most of our fish have come on just that straight wake bait style presentation though, so haven't really been walking this thing too much, but it is nice to know that you can if the opportunity so presents itself or the fish are biting in that specific way. I also like the color. It's a pretty natural color, all things considered. Looks like your run-of-the-mill rat. The tail on this thing is super sweet though. As it kind of wakes through the water, you get this nice like wide whipping action out of the tail, which I really like. And the hooks that came standard on the bait seem to be pretty sharp too, which I like. Means I don't really have to swap out the hooks, at least not at the moment. These fish seem like they're getting hooked pretty good, even the ones that just kind of swipe at the thing. A couple of things I don't love so much about this bait. First of all, the price. Not a huge fan of the price of this thing. I think I paid like 20 bucks for it. And again, like I said, it's kind of just like a standard blank that you can buy in bulk off of a website somewhere. Amazon or Baitworks or any of those like bait making sites or anything like that. And the paint job isn't like amazing. It works, it's definitely pretty natural, but it's just gray on one side and white on the other. So it's not like it's a very difficult paint pattern to, well, paint. It's cool that this thing was kind of hand painted by someone, but I wish I kind of put a little bit more thought into the actual paint scheme or the color scheme of this thing. So I feel like you can get pretty in-depth mouse colored baits these days. And this one just doesn't have the realism that a lot of other baits have. Not to say that it still won't get bit, as you guys can tell, it's still definitely doing some damage on these fish, but I do tend to like my my baits with a little bit more realism to them, I guess. Even with a topwater like this where they're not really seeing much besides the bottom of the bait. That's just kind of a confidence thing for me. I think the more lifelike a bait looks, the more I feel confident that I'm going to get bit on it. My main gripe with the action of the bait is that a lot of the time it does take a second for the bait to start swimming. It just kind of like pulls along for a second before it actually gets going. Kind of similar to like a standard chatterbait where you kind of have that weird little like 1 second delay before the action of the bait really starts kicking in. Same kind of vibe with this thing. But yeah, other than that, seems like a pretty sweet little bait, and it seems like the fish are at least somewhat committed to it tonight. So we're gonna finish doing this little lap of this pond, hopefully maybe pick up 1 or 2 more fish here, and we'll call it after this little half lap or so. I've already done a full lap of this spot. We're pretty much right where we caught that first fish right now, so don't have a ton more area to cover, but we'll see if we can get lucky with 1 more. There we go. There's another one. Oh, finally. God dang. Another little dude. I'll take him. They're all just kind of barely grabbing it today. Nice. That might be the last one for the day, so give him a nice little whoop. Bye. Alright. Finally got another one. Fish this last little stretch and then probably call it. That was a cool little bite though. He came up and cracked it right off this piece of wood. I figured there had to be a fish around there. There's usually fish around there during the day. And yeah, finally got another one to eat the old rat. I think it's pretty cool, I'll be honest. I like this little thing. There's another one. Way up there. Alright. Hell yeah. Stay on there, buddy. Again, not a very big one. They fight so hard in here. Hell yeah, brother. Oh. Drag slipped. That was weird. Alrighty. None of them, again, are really getting it all that good. Just keep eating the back treble, but I'll take it as long as they stay on. Another little guy. See ya. That was a cool little bite too. Made a cast up into this little pocket over here. Kind of got it hung over a little limb or something. Bro came up and popped it. Again, all of them just getting that back treble. I don't know why, but hey, as long as they stay pinned. What's up, man? But yeah, you mind if I just pull my boat out here real quick?
What's up? Yeah.
Thanks, man. Sorry. It's the only good place to do it around here. Alright folks, that's going to do it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I had a great time out there throwing that little rat style topwater. Caught a bunch of fish on that thing in the last little hour and a half of the day, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Nothing super big unfortunately, but we did get quite a few bites, and it was a pretty small body of water, so I wasn't expecting anything super big anywho. But I'm definitely going to be adding this thing to my arsenal. You guys are probably going to see it in some upcoming videos, just throwing it around for fun. But yeah, again, if you guys like that video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see some more content from me, and keep on the lookout for some more challenge style videos coming on up soon. Again, I got a few more videos planned out, so hopefully we'll be able to get 4 or 5 challenge videos filmed within the next couple of weeks or so. But until then, check and wreck 'em, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.